All right, so I'm gonna do a thing with all my controls. I tried doing one take, and it was like ended up being 30 minutes of just fluff. So all of these controllers, we're gonna break them down into segments and then start rating them. And at the end of once I've done rating all of them, I'll rate them like 1 through 12, which one I like best and worst. So here we go. All right, so starting off, we have the PlayStation controllers. You go to PS3, PS4, PS5. Now, you can see they're progressively getting bigger, which does affect how it fits in the grip. This one is a little too small, doesn't quite fit in my hands right, in my opinion. Almost because, like, depending on what game I'm playing, my pinkies will end up slipping off of the piece itself. This one just about perfect, whereas this one's a little bit big, kind of overexerts my hands in certain games. So there we go. Then we have, like, right at the PS4, it loses the start and select button, which weren't very good feeling buttons, but they're still very classical buttons, you know? It feels very traditional, whereas this one replaces the select button with a touchpad and an options button and adds a share button. The share button itself is a really good, cool feature to add. The touch stick thing, not really used in pretty much any game. This one has these same features, share, options, and a touch pad. On top of that, it also has a mic in it, where this one only has a speaker. This one has a mic and a speaker. Really useful if you don't want to go find your headset and you just want to go be able to just talk to your friends that way. It has some really good noise cancellation too. It pretty much eliminates any noise coming out of your TV, so you don't get any reverb, as far as I can tell. I could be wrong, but like, I have not noticed any reverb when I'm talking to my friends, or even talking when somebody else is using one of these. So I find that pretty good. Let's go with the buttons now, because all of these pretty much have the same sticks, which I don't like. There are differences, obviously. Like, the quality of the sticks themselves actually do get progressively better, but the positioning of the sticks is just so horrible that it doesn't freaking matter to me at the end. Then we have the triggers. So these ones are very square triggers. I don't like that. I feel like it's, especially once you compare it to these kind of more rounded off, is a lot better, and even like thinner completely is much better for triggers rather than for buttons. Big is fine, but for triggers, it's kind of, I like thin, knobby, slicey things. These ones are pretty much the same, only the difference is it has a two-stop thing that's only really utilized in certain Sony games right now. It's not a huge thing. These two, I know, have motion controls that are never used in any games, except for, like, this one's used in Astro's Playroom, really, and that's about it. I think this one actually has motion controls too, but I don't remember ever seeing it used. Just reading about this having it. So, that's kind of my thoughts here. The buttons right here, kind of mushy on the PS3. Less mushy, pretty much nice and clicky for the directional buttons on the PS5. Here again, kind of feels almost mushy, because, like, yeah, I found that's very much a thing with the PS3 buttons. They've always kind of felt mushy. Actually, these are a little bit clickier than I give them credit for, though they feel mushy to push down. They click when you press them, so it's weird. This one, clicky, clicky, clicky. This one, no clicky sounds, but it feels clicky. So these two pretty much on par. This one not as good. Well, that sounds like a friggin' Someone's having a truck right outside my apartment. I'm not sure how. What the fuck ever. We'll just keep going. Whatever. Anyway, next thing, let me see, we got face buttons, triggers. All right, let's just conclude this out. So personally, the most important thing is actually the shape, the thing I talked about first for me. Whereas a lot of these other things I can kind of get over, or I can deal with. This one's obviously out because it basically took last place in everything. Then you have these two. This one has a bunch of extra features that are nice, but this one's basic shape is just so much better that I would rather have the PS4 controller than the PS5. That's just me, though, so whatever.